Formula 2 is headed into Austria for round 6 this weekend. I've got my eyes on Gary Owen. He had a slow start to the season, but the Canadian has been improving each week. I think today could be his day.
He's got 2 podiums in the last 2 races. He just needs a bit more to win.
And so it begins, our F1 MyCareer mode here, starting in the 2019 season here in Formula 2 as we make a push to earn a ride for Formula 1 for the 2020 season and beyond. We are driving as a Renault development driver, going up against Zhou Guanyu and Luca Giotto to get a potential ride in Formula 1.
Alright mate, let's get a good jump off the line here and attack these guys. We can win this today.
Yeah, 10-4. I'm going to do everything I can here to get this one for you guys. So, ready for round 6 of this Formula 2 season as we go through some peak moments of our F2 career from 2019, starting 4th on the grid for 10 laps here from Austria, and we've got our 2 drivers we're going head to head with, Zhou Guanyu and Giotto right in front of us, but it's a poor start off the grid, and we immediately drop down to P7, 3 wide in the middle into turn 1. We fortunately come out on the right side of that battle, but obviously some ground lost right off the bat. We've got some work to do if we're gonna go win our first race in Formula 2, but we've got some really good pace now as we dive up the inside, and we're gonna try and move ourselves already into P6, slipping and sliding around here now as we are fortunately able to keep our car pointed in the right direction now as we settle in here to the 6th position. So a drop of a couple of spots, but I'm confident that we've got the pace to work our way forward throughout the remainder of this Austrian Grand Prix now as we continue to try and impress everybody in Formula 1, and a very good chance that if we can beat Zhou Guanyu and Giotto in the points this season, we can very well find ourselves in a Formula 1 ride, specifically with Renault going into the 2020 season. So going to be interesting to see if we can pull this off here, and I was getting quite aggressive on the 2nd lap here, up the elevation into turn 3, going for that dive bomb move up into P5, coming up behind now 4th place of Nikita Mazepin, and if we can get through Mazepin and Zhou pretty quickly, I think we've got a real chance to win this race. The leader hasn't really gotten away, so we're coming to lap 3 already now to, of course, enable DRS, and we've set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, so our pace is fantastic here so far in these early going laps. And now it's like, okay, we had that bad start, we've pretty well gotten back to where we need to be. Let's focus in on running these guys down and passing them. It's Nicholas Latifi out in front, fellow Canadian as well, who's trying to fight for his right to a ride. Next season, he's been linked with a potential ride with Williams potentially going into this 2020 season. Nikita Mazepin, another driver looking for a ride on the grid, and I mean, no different for all of us here in the top 5 serious contenders to end up in Formula 1 as we're going for an aggressive move around the outside of the Russian driver here through the penultimate corner. Not clear quite yet. Mazepin tries to stuff the nose there into the final turn, but we get clear around the outside, and thank you very much. That moves us into now the 4th position as we continue to run down these drivers in front of us. Zhou and Giotto, it's now 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all development drivers for Renault. We got a very lucky late call at the end of the Formula 3 season in 2018 to hop into this Renault development program unexpectedly, and now obviously it's up to me. It's a 1-season deal to kind of prove that, hey, we are the real deal here, and we've got the potential to be successful in Formula 1. So it's kind of us 3 battling for 1 position going into the 2020 season as we'll dive one up the inside here of Zhou into turn 3. Can we complete the pass? He's going to stay alongside there on the left. Not going to be quite easy, but we've got DRS, but so does Zhou as we go side by side with the Chinese driver down towards turn number 4, and we clear our fellow Renault development driver now and move up into a podium position. Now we're about halfway through this Grand Prix. We've got to make quick work on Giotto now because Latifi has driven away by 2 full seconds now. Yellow flags in the back as we slide there on the exit of turn 1. Got a little bit too much curbing, but we've got that DRS still with some slipstream. We should be able to make a move. Here we go, right up to the back of the Renault and up the inside. Not a lot of room there between us, but we make it work into P2. We slide across the nose. We take 2nd. We'll drive away now, and can we close close in 2 seconds and 5 laps on Nicholas Latifi. But first, we gotta make sure that we could defend over Giotto, which we were able to do, and now we could really focus in on running down fellow Canadian Nicholas Latifi. 2 Canadians on the podium currently now, and we were finding the pace we needed. I was pushing the car harder than I had been all race long, just trying to get there, making a few mistakes as well, trying to get there, locking up that right front tire there, but fortunately not going to affect us too much. But as we come to the end of lap 7, 3 laps to go, the gap has been cut to 1.7 seconds. Back to us is the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, as we are running out of time, but I think we've got the pace to get there before this race is over, as we've just cut 2 more tenths out of it now. 1.5 now down to 1.4 seconds. We continue to reel in Latifi now in these closing laps. Not a lot of time to go, as of course lap times here in Austria not very long. Of course, one of the shorter tracks on the Formula 1, Formula 2 schedule as well, as we've cut the gap now with 2 to go down to a second flat. It's crucial that we start the final lap in DRS range of Latifi. If we are not in DRS range by the time we come around to that front straightaway, we're gonna probably not be able to win this race. But now here we are within 9/10 of a second. We just got to manage this gap now at this point. But of course, I'm gonna be pushing as hard as I can to get a little bit closer to the Canadian here now, as we have officially closed the gap to 6/10, about half a second as we start the final lap. DRS enabled for our car now, and we are reeling him into 4/10 of a second, make that 3/10 of a second as we go through turn 1, and now it's game on with Nicholas Latifi here. Do we wait or do we make a move first thing? We're gonna get that slipstream. DRS closing. Where does he go? He stays left. We dive to the right side, wheel to wheel near contact, and I believe we were still behind at the DRS detection point, so we'll get DRS as well. Here we go to the lead of this Austrian Grand Prix, and as well, DRS is in our favor, so we are able to stretch out the gap as well to Nicholas Latifi, and now try to run away. And now it's just about, okay, managing this lead for the final half of a lap or so in this Austrian Grand Prix, and this will deliver us our first win in Formula 2. It took us 6 races to make it happen, as we just got to hang on through a few tricky corners right here. Now this is the trickiest part on the track, really, just for grip loss, but we are able to get through there without any issues. We've opened up the gap to a near full second already on Latifi, rounding the final few corners, and it's finally going to happen in round 6 of the 2019 Formula 2 season. We round the final turn, and we're going to become a Formula 2 winner from Austria. Yes, come on guys, come on, let's go. Thank you guys so much. Let's just go keep winning these things.
Let's go, mate. Awesome drive. What a day.
And as well, on top of that, driver of the day here from Austria. You could not ask for much more, as we are officially a Formula 2 winner. It was a rough start to our Formula 2 career, as you heard in the beginning from Crofty as well as Brundle. Although they're not commentating, of course, in Formula 2, they have been paying attention to our Formula 2 career, as you see the rest of the finishing order. So myself, Latifi, Giotto, there on the podium there, as well as you can see Zhou in P4, as you see the rest of the order. Mick Schumacher way down there in the 14th position. Jack Aitken, he actually had a mechanical failure. Looking at the standings, of course, getting our first win has put us up to 4th in the standings, 37 back from the leader of Nikita Mazepin. And following the Grand Prix, of course, meeting with the press and answering some questions just about our race and about the future. Of course, you had some great overtakes today. Is it more rewarding to earn a podium rather than dominating from the start? But of course, I went with just the fact that it's always better to earn your podium. Things are definitely hotting up this season. Who do you think will take the championship? Do I be a bit confident, or do I be a bit humble? I decided to actually be a little bit confident and say, hey, it's going to be me. There's a lot of buzz around you. Do you see yourself graduating to F1 after the season? In my opinion, it's a little bit too early to talk about the future. So yeah, my attention is focused in on just this current season here of Formula 2.
Hey Gary, I just wanted to congratulate you on your first win. Listen, if you can beat Joe and Giotto in the points this year, Cyril is willing to offer you a ride alongside Daniel at our F1 team next season.
Round 10 coming your way in Formula 2 this weekend, and we've gotten confirmation that Gary Owen has quickly become a threat to take a seat at Renault next year. Is this a surprise to you, Martin?
Not at all. He's developing super fast.
So you heard the phone call and as well Crofty and Brundle talking about it. The news there from Cyril Abitbol that his agent was the one that called me saying he is willing to offer me a ride if I can beat fellow Renault development drivers Zhou Guanyu and Luca Giotto in the standings this season. We come into round 10 and we had actually won another race in between round 6 and 10, starting this 10th round from Monza. 4th on the grid, now 2 wins to our name, and as well we've been on the podium in each race in between, but it's a poor start again. But fortunately we get things pretty sorted here. We're still P6 on the run into turn number 1. We're going to get aggressive on Giotto, getting maybe a little bit too aggressive. Major contact right there, and now he slams into the side of us, and we've taken a little bit of left side front wing damage now, and the 2 Renault development drivers are going to go head to head, side by side after clashing into turn 1. Who's willing to do more to win a championship in Formula 2 or just get themselves a ride in Formula 1 as we clear Giotto there down into the chicane, and now we continue to try and run down the next car's head, but we've got damage, so there's only going to be so much we can do. And you can see the right-hander, that's going to be the biggest difficulty now that we've damaged the wings. So now, fortunately, we've got quite a few left-handed corners as well that we can kind of use to mitigate the disadvantage that we're going to have as we come through the front straightaway to complete lap 1. It's only 8 laps of racing here in Monza today, and now we're trying to run down Nikita Mazepin once again, and we've actually driven away from Giotto, who also might have picked up some damage there in that contact, because I was surprised that I drove away from him so easily here as we are now continuing to put some pressure on the back of Mazepin, who's just behind Nicholas Latifi in second, and it's Zhou Guanyu stepping up to the plate. He is yet to win here in Formula 2 this season, and now here he is leading in Monza, so there's a very real opportunity. He's going to step up to the plate and pick up his first win in Formula 2 today as we continue to just try and be cautious at the same time aggressive, because we've got the wing damage, so we can't be, overly aggressive. But here we are now with an opportunity to the back of Mazepin to set up here for the long straightaway run down towards turn 1. It's all about slipstream. We don't got DRS, we don't have any ERS of course in Formula 2, so it's all about top line speed on the setup and just that slipstream to pull us along. We pull out to the right side, we'll dive one up into turn 1 alongside Mazepin. It's going to be close quarters racing. We avoid contact, give him plenty of room of course to keep it fair. We go around the outside and we take the position now into a podium position once again as we look to run down now Nicholas Latifi, who's managed to drive away by a full second while myself and Mazepin were fighting side by side. So can he maybe do something with Zhou Guanyu to fight up there for the lead of this race before it's over? I think that's my only hope to run down Zhou. I think we can get Latifi, but the only way I'm going to get Zhou is if Latifi was fighting with them, but that's just not going to happen because over the course of the next few laps, you can see Zhou's actually stretching out the gap to Nicholas Latifi. Now we are running down Latifi, as you can see, a bit of a slip and slide there out of turn 2, but as we continue to use DRS and just get that slipstream on the fellow Canadian, we're getting closer and closer. We're not really gaining on Zhou, which is not surprising to be honest. I mean, we are certainly, of course, hindered by that wing damage, but as we come down this front straightaway with the DRS open, now lap 5 of this Grand Prix, we've got a big run on Latifi. We pull out a line, he defends to the right, we clear him before we even hit turn 1, makes it nice and easy for myself. Into P2, do we have anything for Zhou Guanyu? The answer is absolutely not. Zhou was in a league of his own on this afternoon. As you can see a little bit later on lap 5, the gap's back up to 2 seconds as we did bring it down below 2 seconds briefly as we slip and slide again. I mean, this car is so easy to break grip as we come straight to the final lap of this Grand Prix, and Zhou had opened up the gap to 3 seconds, and now Nicholas Latifi's trying to continue to put some pressure on us here as we head down to the DRS straight, the last one on the circuit now, and here he comes after a mistake from myself. He's going to use the DRS. Latifi's going to go back through into P2, but we can stick with him. We pull back in line, and we might have a chance on the run into the final turn to get him back here now. Latifi through to P2. We dropped a third. We get through the chicane, really aggressive on the curbing there, and he gets a little bit out in front by a couple car lengths, but we've got that slipstream to pull us back in. Now, within a car length of Latifi, we pull out a line. We're going to sail it off into the final turn, slide up the racetrack. Latifi trying to cross over, but he pushes wide right to the back of us, and we make it happen. Zhou Guanyu wins here for the first time in Formula 2. We cross the stripe for P2. What a recovery drive, and enough to continue to keep our championship hopes alive.
I mean, that was not easy, boys. Sorry to Giotto there about the wing damage, but I was, fighting for my life.
We're going to do whatever it takes to make it into Formula 1, and if we have to build a little bit of a sour reputation for aggression, so be it. We're fighting for our career as a young driver trying to enter the top sport in the world. As you can see, though, after Monza, Zhou opens up the gap on me by 7 points now, as he is, of course, now currently the favorite to get a spot at Renault next season. Mazepin leading over Latifi. As we come into the final round, things had changed quite significantly.
F2 takes on the final round of the 2019 season. Gary Owen has officially signed a deal to drive for Renault F1 next season alongside Daniel Ricciardo.
Owen has won 4 races this year, all since round 6. He's outperformed his rivals. He's earned this.
You heard the news. We have already signed with Renault as we've opened up the gap over Zhou Guanyu and Luca Giotto. And they cannot even catch us in this final race. Just in the 11th round and the feature race in round 12, we have put ourselves second in the standings after winning round 11 for our third win in Formula 2. Now here we are for the final race of the season, and again a slow start here now, but you can see right behind the two Renault development drivers again of Zhou and Giotto, Nicholas Latifi has managed to take the championship lead. I myself am in third behind Nikita Mazepin, but all I have to do is basically beat Mazepin and we should be able to outpoint him for at least second. But of course I would love to go win a Formula 2 championship, but the only way I'm going to win, it's simple, the only way I can mathematically win this championship right now is win the race as Latifi leads. So Latifi is currently on target to win the Formula 2 championship here in Abu Dhabi to cap off 2019, and it was confirmed at this point as well. Nicholas Latifi will be behind the wheel of a Williams F1 car. He will be kicking off his rookie season next season in 2020 alongside myself at Renault. So at least two of us guaranteed to move up from Formula 2. Nikita Mazepin as well is in the running to move up now, as we're going to go for an aggressive move on Giotto. Big contact right there as I completely drove into the side of him now, as that was a bit of an aggressive lunge up the inside. Surely he's not going to be thrilled with that.
Okay, Gary, we've got a warning from the stewards to clean it up. They didn't like that move.
I mean, I was there. He just turned into me.
You do have to question Owen a bit in terms of his driving style. He's had some over-aggressive moments this year. Is this a habit that he's going to carry into F1, or will he clean it up?
You hear some paddock thoughts there from Ted Kravitz as we come into these final few laps of this Formula 2 season, doing everything we can to try and go win a championship, but obviously it's too little too late at this point now. Latifi's gone, he's driven away. Mazepin in third. Can we go get him and maybe as well third place as well before it's over? I would love to end the season on the podium. It'd be a bit disappointing to, end up in P4. In the feature race, actually, we were P2. So the fact that we're down here in 5th in the sprint to finish off the season's a little bit disappointing, to say the least. But we continue to run down the Russian of Mazepin. I mean, look at the gap we just closed in on this 4th lap here. So we're in the DRS now, which is going to open up the door of opportunities here. Maybe not this lap because we just don't quite get the exit. We're not quite close enough to Mazepin, so it's going to have to wait a little bit longer, probably to the now 2 lap to go point as we set at purple sector 2. How about Nick De Vries up there in P6 over Zhou Guanyu? Great run for De Vries as Giotto's kind of dropped down the order a little little bit, starting to wonder if I maybe damaged his car when I made that ultra aggressive move here, but we're, like I said, willing to do whatever it takes to make sure we're in a Formula 1 car next season as we continue to be on the back of Nikita Mazepin, and a bit of contact there on the rear wing of him. He is so slow, as I'm maybe driving a little bit too aggressive at this point now, just trying to stay put, let him sort things out, and we know we can get him right here with the DRS down the long straightaway. Will he let us have it, or is he going to fight up the inside? He is going to keep it up the inside through the chicane, side by side with Mazepin, and not quite clear, now clear, but now we've given up so much time to third place that I just don't think we're going to be able to get there for a podium. And it's Delatraz there in P2 as well, as we start the final lap of the Formula 2 season, going a little bit wide out of turn 1, but Nicholas Latifi is about to have a walk-off win, and that will propel him as well to a Formula 2 championship. As for myself, we are now in position to score second in the standings, but it's not going to be enough to beat Nicholas Latifi. As we currently run, we are 7 points short of a championship. Actually, I don't think we needed to win this race to win the championship, but nonetheless, I mean, right here on the back of Set Camara, and it's just not going to happen. Could we make an aggressive move here for third? It's certainly possible, but I'm just waiting for the right opportunity. Not going to happen. We slip and slide, and that's going to do it. We're going to have to just accept our fate. It's been set. It's going to be 4th place here to cap off the season in Abu Dhabi. A bit of a lockup, and this is the worst finishing position we've had just about over the last half the season. We've been so consistent, but unfortunately so has Nicholas Latifi, who comes around the final turn. Nicholas Latifi is going to be the 2019 Formula 2 champion. Will come around the final turn for 4th position, second in the standings, 7 points behind Latifi, but a ride in Formula 1 nonetheless, as we outpoint our rivals in the Renault development program of Zhou as well as Giotto. So we at least get that guaranteed ride for next season. It was simple. Beat those 2 drivers and you get a ride at our team. And Nicholas Latifi, the champion from 2019 as well, will be going to Formula 1 with Williams, as we'll be going head-to-head with him. Hopefully not like Formula 2, and we'll actually be ahead of him for the most part now. But just didn't quite have enough when it came down to the end, and what a drive from Latifi there. As you see it, we both moved up past our rivals there. 7 points back in P2. Mazepin 30 back. Zhou ends up 76 back, and Giotto 88. So we had a very comfortable margin on those 2 drivers as the season came to an end. And it all goes into 2020, where we drive for that team, Renault F1. It is going to be super exciting to kick off our F1 career from this 2020 season and beyond. Hopefully we can get, a good 10 seasons out of this. But I will see you guys in the next one, where we kick off our Formula 1 career. Thank you for watching, and have yourselves a great day.